Up, guys? How are you guys all doing out there in La La Land? I think we're live. Um, I
Looks
don't
like
know.
it.
I guess we are. Yep, there we go. It just took a second for everything to update. We have some breaking news. Breaking news. Breaking news. Let me see if I have my breaking news sound. There it is.
Breaking news! Breaking news!
All right, guys. Let's go ahead and jump into what is going on here. Okay, so basically, an order came out this morning. There was a petition to the Supreme Court for writ of certiorari by the state of Pennsylvania, arguing that the law knocking down that the court's decision, the circuit court decision knocking down the Pennsylvania law barring the carrying of firearms by anyone under 21 was unconstitutional. That went up to the Supreme Court. Pennsylvania asked for a writ of certiorari, which means the Supreme Court would take up the case. The writ of certiorari was granted, but it was called something. But it's not like where they're going to hear it. It's called a GVR, or granted, vacated, or remanded. What that means is the Supreme Court did grant the petition, the writ of certiorari, but they're not going to hear it. What they did is they vacated the circuit court's decision and remanded it back down in light of Rahimi. And this is the Third Circuit Court, by the way. So that means that the decision is vacated. So the law banning the carrying of firearms by those under 21 is back in effect as of now.
So if you're 21, you can carry.
You cannot,
If
again,
you're
because the law
21,
in Pennsylvania, if you're 21, you can. If you're under,
under 21. All right.
there was a injunction against the law was knocked down by the circuit court. So up until like 9:30, you could, but now you can't.
Wow. Wow. All right. So in other words, 18, you're not an adult. You don't have full adult privileges and rights. It's not until you're 21
Correct.
that you can actually exercise your Second Amendment right.
You're correct. Now the Supreme Court, uh, because the Supreme Court did not, they did not rule on the merits of the case or anything. Why would they vacate instead of just denying cert request, leaving the decision intact? Because they want the Third Circuit to look at it with fresh eyes with the Rahimi case. The
Okay.
Rahimi case says a dangerous person can be temporarily disarmed. And now the Supreme Court is asking them to review the case with that in mind before they just did a Bruin analysis on it. And it obviously failed the Bruin analysis. Now the Supreme Court is not saying that it's going to that their decision is wrong. That is absolutely not what the Supreme Court is saying. What they are saying is that you have to consider Rahimi in deciding whether it is wrong or right. And the Third Circuit did not do that because the whole Rahimi case, timeline, and everything else. So I just want to make this very, very, very clear that the Supreme Court did not say they disagreed with it, and they did not say that it was that the court came up with the wrong decision. What they said is you have to consider Rahimi when looking at that. And since Rahimi happened after the argument,
Hmm.
that they have to go back and they have to redo it. Uh,
All right. I've got a question about this. Is it possible they could have granted something without vacating?
if they want to remand it back down, it's always going to be granted, vacate,
So
remanded.
there's only a GVR. There's no granted remanded.
No,
Okay.
if it's remanded back down, it's always going to be granted, vacated, remanded.
Okay. All right.
They
That
could
makes
have
sense.
granted cert and took up the case
Because you're
themselves.
sending it back to them, so you're going to have to vacate the prior decision, and then Okay.
Yeah. So I want to make it very, very clear. This is not to say that the SCOTUS did not agree with the circuit court's decision originally. It's just saying that they have to take in effect. This is one of the reasons why I wanted to get this video out here quickly, is because I've already seen some liberal networks saying, "Oh, look, this is the Supreme Court agreed that people under 21 don't have the right to bear arms,"
Was
which
this
is
a
not what.
6-3 Supreme Court decision?
No, it was not a six. Sorry, I don't know. They don't put. Okay, it's an order. So should I even should I just show the order maybe and make it more clear?
Well, I don't. I
It's
think
like
you've
only a couple of
summarized it
things.
properly.
I mean, I can read it too.
Yeah.
Let me just read it. Petition for writ of certiorari is granted. The judgment is vacated. In this case, remanded back to the United States Court of Appeals for the Third Circuit for further consideration in light of the United States versus Rahimi, 602 U.S. 2024.
Oh, snap. How do you
Yeah.
fix this?
Just remove your name. Hold on. Oh man. Okay. Dark. Let's go here. All right. All right. There you
You
are.
could just put me in a little square in the bottom. I'm good with that,
No. I should have made like another scene, but I didn't.
No, you're good. You're good. I just saw y'all live, so I wanted to jump on.
Yeah. So that is what is going on. So it is not something that I would say is like totally unexpected. I kind of expected it myself,
Now, how would
but
Rahimi influence this case?
well, Rahimi said you can temporarily disarm people.
Okay, so as a layman, how would I understand if the Supreme Court says, "Hey, I'm vacating this decision where you're allowed to carry," in light of Rahimi? Please
Well,
revisit your decision.
because they didn't consider, because Rahimi said you can disarm people.
Okay.
He's not saying that is what's is the best possible action, and it's not saying that, hey, this is wrong. It's just saying you can, and they didn't consider that. So
But it
makes
seems to me that this is a partial gun grabber win.
what?
It seems to me that this is a partial win for the gun grabber rule.
It's partial win for who?
For the gun grabber.
It could be strewed as that, but I mean, maybe temporarily.
But this is now taking the right away from 18 to 20-year-olds to carry.
Correct.
Yeah, it's absurd.
So I'm just trying to wrap my brain around the interpretation of this, because if the Supreme Court says, "Hey, you made this decision, we're vacating it, please reconsider in light of Rahimi," you enjoy. That sounds to me like there's on the side of gun grabbers.
No. I mean, that's why I wanted to put this video out, because that does not necessarily mean that. It just says that, hey, there was a decision that came out, and yeah, I mean, it does not
So
necessarily mean that.
the lower court could say, "Nah, we agree with our prior decision."
They could say, well, we considered Rahimi, and Rahimi does not affect this case, and I don't honestly think it affects the case, Because what Rahimi said is that you can temporarily
Right,
disarm someone that's a danger to themselves or others. And now what the Pennsylvania is probably going to do is they're probably going to try to prevent like studies or whatever saying that people under the age of 21 is a danger to themselves or others when they carry firearms. They're probably going to try to throw, I already know what they're going to do. They're going to throw some stuff out like BS stuff like, hey, look, you know, it's, people,
we're
you
temporarily for 3 years taking away
yeah,
their right to
the
carry.
brain, the brain isn't developed until 25. They're going to, um,
Hmm.
Pull up a bunch of BS trying to validate it.
yeah.
So okay, so then like what does this look like in the future for the time being? 18 to 21-year-old
And
people can't carry like
yeah, they can't carry
yeah,
in Pennsylvania.
okay.
But until the Third Circuit rehears the case, so they're gonna reconsider the case with Rahimi. There's gonna be a bunch of documents filed, a bunch of filings, briefings filed. They might do oral arguments again. They might not. And then they will take that because I'm sure the state is going to lean on Rahimi and say, "Hey, look, here's some studies that says the human brain isn't fully developed until 25 and stuff like that."
Yeah.
Okay. So now like typical court decorum is for like the Supreme Court to kick stuff back to lower courts so they're not like mommy and daddy, daddy says no, then mommy says yes or whatever, right? Like they don't want to, pull their weight around unless they need to. But like if they kick it back and say, hey, reconsider your position based on X, and like you said, if the lower court says, nah, we've already taken that into consideration. We don't think there's any, that it bears any whatever, that it has any impact at all. Then what would happen after that? Where would it go? I guess.
Then the state, if the decision is the same, Pennsylvania could file for another writ of certiorari with the Supreme Court. At that time, the Supreme Court could either grant cert or, I mean, they could GVR, but they wouldn't do it the second time. They would either grant cert or deny cert.
Gotcha. Which means the Supreme Court would either agree to hear it or not.
Yes, you petition the Supreme Court to hear a case.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, it is. Look, it's difficult to, keep track of all of this stuff, and with it, even with as much exposure I have to this stuff, it's still difficult to grasp. So
Well,
I
that's
like
like the frame and receiver case. Are frames and receivers legal? And it's like, whoa, that's a head scratcher.
Well, I'll tell you what. Being that let's say loosely, I operate within that industry, and every single person that I talk to is under a different impression of the current legal standing of everything. Everything. Some people I talk to say, "How are you selling jigs? Jigs are illegal," and "How are you selling frames?" I'm not selling frames, right? I'm just saying, how are these companies selling frames? And like, "What do you mean? I've been buying frames, for the past 2 years." So like, it's such a diluted, cloudy, like difficult thing to. Most people don't understand it, is what I'm saying. And even when like you see these things that give updates, it's basically speaking in French. They don't.
Hey,
Understand.
Dark, I think you might have hit something on your mic control. It sounds like you're talking through your armpit.
Yeah, it does.
That's it.
How's that? Can you hear me now?
Much better, much better. You can blame it on Remy.
The funny thing is the same thing happened to you earlier, and I didn't do anything.
Hmm.
It may be EV Mux.
And they said, Rich sounds like he's whispering.
Yeah, I heard the same. I hear Rich fine.
Yeah, but earlier when he was saying is a partial win for the gun grabbers, it like was kind of garbled.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on, but now you sound fine now.
Yeah,
Okay.
you sound good now. Hey, and I'm using the Thriller mic. I'm using the Thriller mic, y'all. Come on. Show some love, baby.
So, Dark, do you have any other commercial announcements to make?
You know, personally, I don't know if I do. I don't know if, John has anything he wants to talk about.
Yeah, I got the new journalist. It's actually upstairs right now.
Because you use it so much, right?
No, it's just because this broke. I was actually right. I was just upstairs right before it came down, and I saw this breaking. So
I
I
actually
decided,
have a journalist right here.
yeah. So I decided to do this before going back upstairs.
Gotcha.
But
So,
yeah,
there's a new knife company called Definition Knives, and the products from Launch One are available. What is that red dot there?
The red dot, I believe, is your mom's box. So basically, we for Definition Knives, what we did is we wanted to honor people with like the products that we put out. So this one is called The Journalist, and it's paying homage to John Crump, and the knives are available on definitionknives.com.
Cool.
yeah, definitely go over there and check them out.
And there's way more people that we're also
Hey,
honoring with the names too.
and use code Crump and get 50% off.
Actually, all knives, basically all are under $100, and every single one of these knives is on sale for $59 to $79. So
Yeah.
Explain
I mean,
how it works.
All right. All right. That's gonna be it. Just wanted to make a quick video to. 'Cause I know people are gonna be like misreading this a lot, and I just wanted to make sure that everyone gets the down low on what is going on here without the BS.
Mm-hmm.
Geo.
Yep. Tomorrow, there's gonna be no video tomorrow unless I do it remotely. Uh, I fly out at like 5 a.m. tomorrow to head down to South Carolina to film the State of the Second podcast.
Oh, cool.
I fly back on Thursday, so only there for a few hours.
You're not doing it from your basement?
No, I'm not doing it from my basement, which is unusual.
Yeah, I was
I,
gonna say that is unusual.
I would, but they don't have that option. And with that, we're gonna get out of here. And just to remind you, the Gundy's nominations are open, and they do have a category for 2A writer.
Hey,
Hey. Do they have a category for 2A writer sidekick?
I did not see that. Maybe you can suggest that for next year. You can sneak back into the gold section again this year.
Rich is
Yeah,
definitely the dude that sneaks in places.
Don't
he did. He
be
snuck
like
into the
Will.
gold section.
I bet. I bet. And he just acts like he owns the joint.
Then he's like, "Hey man, do you think I can get a swag bag?" I'm like, "I don't know. I'm not gonna go get you a swag bag. You want a swag bag? You go get a swag bag. I'm not gonna go steal you a swag bag. You snuck in here."
Yeah, excuse me, ma'am. Could I have a swag bag for my friend who snuck in here? That's Rich. And Rich is also accepting free suppressors currently.
Yes. Yeah.
So that's another thing. I still pay for mine, but Rich is.
I just got a free suppressor.
Yeah. Rich, how many free suppressors have you gotten?
None right now.
Oh, okay. All right.
I just got one for my 8.6 blackout.
Nice.
Yeah, so I'm on 1 day waiting. So tax stamp was submitted yesterday, so we'll see what happens today.
So hang on. So are you saying that for your All American Anderson Big Bore AR pistol competition that you just got an 8.6 blackout can?
Yes.
I totally would have gone 8.6 if it wasn't retardedly expensive.
Can I break some news here? I mean, this news is fresh and ripe for the breaking. Anderson has announced. Let's see. Do I have? They are now the thrift stallion.
Hey,
They're the what?
The thrift stallion.
the
Okay.
thrift
All right.
stallion. Now your mic is
All right.
doing it.
All right. We're gonna. That's definitely your mic. That's not EV Mux. It's not like you have a Roadcaster Pro there.
Yeah, that'd be crazy.
I don't know how the software works.
All right, that's it. I'm sticking with StreamYard.
All right. No, I have no idea what he just did. He just added something and like you changed the scene.
How's the music back here?
I don't know, but we're out of here. Bye.
Later, guys.